All right, guys, welcome back to the Nerf Surf and Turf detailed game, in which I go into excruciating detail of every little thing that's happening on this map. I'm happy to say, as of this point, that nothing really new is happening in the new world, despite the fact that new is in the name of their world. So nothing much happening over there. We seem to have stabilized over here in the Western Middle East, Northwestern Africa here. Seems to have stabilized. Not super sure of that. I don't want to misrepresent anything. Wait a minute. I am officially misrepresenting because we have a capture of a capital. Just happened. Wow. That's big news. All right. So that is something that needs to be heralded from the mountaintops. That's big. That's big stuff. That was a sort of stumbling block for Benaya for the longest time here. And Spain is attacking into Morocco. Oh, no. This feisty little group here, Team C here, is getting compressed. So now their third member is gone permanently. I believe that's just it. Yeah. And East and West Libya, who are brothers, by the way. Yep. Isn't that ironic? They're the Libyans, the Libby brothers, the Libby boys. I don't know. Anyway, that is not good for Team C. It is good for Team D. We do have a situation here that has to be brought to light. King Bowler here really has to be given props for playing a game with two players who have been either not present at all in the case of Greece or rarely present in the case of the Ottoman over here. So I don't even know what to say to King Bowler other than I am so sorry. I mean, things happen, I guess. That's not a great answer to what amounts to a basic injustice. You come into this game, you expect to play a fun game with three people integrating and playing with teamwork, and instead you get nothing but, and I've been over in his chat the whole time, and he's kind of like, hey, guys, anybody? And so, man, I'm sorry. I hope you'll keep on playing games with us. I guess this kind of thing is inevitable. Maybe we can start to get a core group who's really serious about playing, because frankly, most of the people in this game have been serious about playing. We had one player up here and two players down here who were kind of a little bit flaky. But other than that, out of 31 players, three players not being 100% on board, that's not bad. But we could do better, certainly. And for the person, I just feel bad for King Bowler because he had two of the three, right? Two of the three flakes were on his team. So not cool. If you are looking for a third, or if you're interested in working with a free agent, I hope you'll consider King Bowler down here, because he's having a rough time of things. So let's go ahead and look at what's happening here. Romania, which has taken over Greece, continues to dominate this game, I'll say. But before we can talk about anything else, we do have to talk about what happened up here. So Lithuania was gone AFK for the longest time. I looked at my settings and I did set mine to absent for 5 days before you get AI. That might have been a mistake. In the future, I probably should go to 2 days, but I don't think it really matters, because even if AI takes over, when you come back, you can still take over. So I've had players who were inactive and they were definitely AI, and then they come back in the game and take over. So I don't know if it would have changed things here necessarily. In fact, AI might have taken over for a while. I think it maybe did. But what happened was he came back and declared war on Poland. Poland really got upset, felt betrayed. His own teammate was attacking, and he reached out and said, Russia, what's up? And Russia said, well, I had kicked Lithuania out of our team and brought in Page, Great Britain, which I think was a great move. However, Poland wasn't ready for that great move. So a lack of communication between Russia and Poland led to some difficulties here. So I had a lot of different thoughts. I was like, well, I can march down in here and attack Lithuania. But then I thought, well, then what? Then I own a bunch of territory in the middle. It doesn't make any sense. Northeastern Europe, I've got a bunch of territory now. No. And what do I do then? I divvy it out. Well, I can only give away one territory per day. Who gets it first? It's just the whole thing is a mess. So what I've settled upon, I consulted my trusted lieutenants, and what I kind of decided upon was it is what it is. Now, I reached out to Lithuania in a neutral way and just kind of like, hey, man, what's going on? I didn't attack him or accuse him or anything like that. I was just like, hey, why are you doing this? Like you left for a week and now you came back and attacked your former allies. I just want to understand why you're doing it. For whatever reason, he stopped. He declared neutrality and he stopped. As far as I know, he's gone from the game permanently, but I don't know that either because he never actually replied to me. So there's a big question mark in the middle of Europe. And so what I've announced to everybody is it just is what it is, And so Poland, you can continue to work with Great Britain and Russia. It would be a good partnership, although you're far apart. It could be a good partnership. The rest of the world, if you want to attack into Lithuania, you can. If you want to attack into Poland and you've been holding off because you wondered about what was going on with the drama, I would just say no, just let's go. Let's move forward. Benaiah was who kind of helped me to think about it and realize, like, the more I try to interfere, because I was like, I'm going to come down and I'm going to attack Lithuania because I've got like 150 guys up here. And then I was like, well, then what? Then what? So Benaiah was like, let people make alliances to counter these kind of things. There are ways that the nations in this game and the players in this game can balance things out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm letting it go. Just going to let it go. If anybody has specific ideas or complaints or suggestions, I'm open to that as well. So another thing that happened was I went ahead and gifted this territory to Harkold because I tried to gift this territory to Harkold and Sweden just came over and took it right away. It was like, here's what it was like. Have you seen that video where like the little girl is releasing a rabbit that they had rescued this rabbit and nursed it back to health, and then they release the rabbit, and then like as the rabbit's running away, like a dog comes and just like attacks it and kills it. So that was kind of like what happened here in Egersund. Like I just gave it to Harkold, and then just right away, here comes this dog, just kills the rabbit immediately. And so I thought about it. I was like, well, I don't have any right to take that away from over here. This is Hertz, and he took it, and he deserves to keep it because he took it, and that's initiative, and that's moving quickly is a big part of this game, and just deciding and doing. So I didn't want to punish him for that and just say, hey man, would you give that back or whatever. So what I did was I went ahead and gave a even better territory over to Harkold. Now, there's been a little bit of a question here. Hertz said, well, can we just say that any territories you give away will be neutral? And I said, no. Hertz has had a benefit of having me on his western flank. I would suggest to you that Hertz might be the safest player on the map. Hertz might be the only player on the map that doesn't have a contiguous land enemy. And when I say enemy, I don't mean active enemy, but somebody who's not in your coalition, right? There's me on the west, a friend on the east, and then water all around. So Hertz might be the safest player in the game. I don't think anybody else can claim that except for possibly Britain, who's just one goddamn island. So I said, in exchange for that game-long advantage that you have, I'm going to be giving territories away, and that means that you might have to march some people back to defend them or work out a diplomatic arrangement, which is what Hertz did with Harkold. Hertz said to Harkold, look, if you don't stock people into here, if you don't march people in here, and if you disable your office, your recruiting office, then I'll leave you alone. And in return, you get this beefy 3,000 oil, which once this, thought there was a railway building there. I don't know what happened. Maybe there's spies at work here. Holy crap. Okay, spies are still, who knows who might have thrown a spy over there. I don't know. But I do know that I left it with a railway building. There is no longer a railway building. Very interesting. Okay. Oh boy. Other than that, there's a lot going on here. I will say, Papa Smitty over here is holding on tenuously. Over here, we do have Spain, who is part of Papa Smitty's mix here, coming in and taking some territory over here. Little Light, who used to be part of that German-Britain coalition, who really didn't have a great chance in the very beginning, is fading away down to one territory here, his capital. So he's holding his capital with 24 guys. Lithuania over here is potentially slavering, drooling at that possibility. And Page is standing strong. Page is somebody who earned a diplomatic achievement early on and seems to be holding on with their life here to a very tenuous situation. Much admiration to be shoveled in their direction. Other than that, I don't think we have much to say here on this detailed video. Not a lot has really changed, other than let's do say a capital captured in the Middle East. That's pretty big. Over here, Austria shrinking. That's fairly big. And then over here, Lithuania going berserk and then becoming neutral again, and me not knowing how to deal with that, and finally just saying, you know what, let it sort itself out. And what I'm doing, I'll just go ahead and tell you, what I'm doing is I'm bringing all these guys down here to just wait in the sea and think of them as the UN. If anything egregious happens, I do have to be able to have more authority than just, hey guys, would you mind? So I have a force here that possibly, if anybody gets there's just so many wild cards here. Like General Opara here, he came out of his sleep. He came out of, AFK land, away from keyboard land, and just attacked. He just attacked someone. There was no chat. There was no discussion. And so I've got to be able to respond to that kind of just really random nonsense. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my force down to here just to hover around. So that's it, guys. Not much more to say. I will say this. It is day 10, and day 10 means factories are finishing up, and people who saved gold marks, that means factories done, finished up, and units are being built. So we're about to see specialists enter the game, and I love it. So within the next couple days is when we're going to start seeing balloons and cannons and cruisers, and that's going to change this game. So stay tuned. Big things are coming. It's going to be super exciting. I can't wait. And well, let's just see what happens. All right, guys. Adios, amigos, mi compadres, mi familia.